Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward for Lettermen Row, back with another BuckIQ. Basketball season winding down. Terence Dials, former Ohio State big man, in the building. 2 regular season games left for the Buckeyes. It's really been a roller coaster for these last few weeks, Terence. Really, I mean, the whole season has been, yeah. But you know, they go through the high last week of getting that huge home win. It looks like the tournament bid might be sewn up at Iowa or against Iowa. And then 3 days later, you've got a suspension. Kaleb's gone, and they get annihilated at Purdue, and it's just riding this wave.
Yeah, it's been up and down the whole season. And, you know, obviously when you're fighting for a tournament position, you can't have suspensions going into the season. It's definitely taking a toll on the team.
And that put Jaedon LeDee into the starting lineup last week. He actually played pretty well, had 16 points in that game. That score, though, pretty lopsided. The ugliest result of the Chris Holtmann era by far. At least in terms of margin of defeat. But when you take Kaleb Wesson off of this team, and we'll see, he's expected to be back at some point. We don't know exactly when that will be, Terence. But when you remove the best overall player, that's obviously a big loss. But where does it hurt Ohio State the most?
Well, I think, you know, once you have a player that the team is focused around and then you lose him,
yeah,
you have to learn how to play without him. And they haven't done that all season. And he actually slows down the tempo of the game. And if you saw Iowa, it was fast-paced, and we can't keep up. We don't have the shooters or the players to keep up with that style.
So with or without Kaleb Wesson, Jaedon LeDee looked like somebody who could help down the stretch. He did some good things, so we're going to have Terence break that down, what he brought in the post. As Ohio State now, there's these last 2 games at Northwestern and then Sunday against Wisconsin, trying to make sure they can punch that ticket to the big dance. So let's go ahead and roll the tape. All right, Terence, well, nobody really expected Jaedon LeDee to be playing starting minutes for Ohio State this season, but that's the situation there against Purdue, and he at least came out and tried to assert himself early.
What I like about him is he stayed ready, obviously. You know, it's tough for especially a young player where you're not getting any playing time,
right,
to go in there and be asked to start and give valuable minutes. And I thought he did a great job of bringing energy to the team when 9 out of the other 10 guys didn't.
You know, might get a foul. He misses some jumpers, obviously.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to be the strength of his game either. But to your point, you know, he hadn't even played in several of these Big Ten games. He sat on the bench, and he at least went out there to prove something.
Absolutely. And, you know, like I said, most people, not even just freshmen, but, you know, players in general, will sulk on the bench, not getting any playing time. But, you know what, he kept his head held high, and he came and gave us valuable minutes. I especially like this play right here. He gave spacing, and, you know, let the play come to him.
Something that we've, you know, Kaleb has made a number of these finishes, and Andre Wesson usually going to his brother, but that's been one thing that in the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, it's felt like Ohio State's improved their game a little bit with those cuts and the passes inside.
Well, you got to have some movement. Obviously, you know, the focus is going to be on Kaleb, but when the focus is on Kaleb, the defense can get set, and it's very easy to guard offense when there's not a lot of movement. So good thing for Coach Holtmann. He got some offense that's moving, and players are starting to score a little bit more.
It's a little like Terence Dials finish there in the post.
That did look like it. You know, being ready. You got to have your hands ready and be ready to finish at all times.
As you go in through the rest of this game, it's going to be a mixed bag. He's a freshman, right? I mean, you're going to see some of the ups and downs and the reason that he wasn't playing all that much. But, you know, he really brought some energy in a game where you could have quit, and maybe some other guys did. That's not for me to say, but
absolutely. And this team is going to be obviously a team full of contributors. Everybody's going to have their night. Obviously, as we've seen, you know, the week before, the other freshman have his night. It's just going to be one of those teams like that this year.
Is this the kind of, you know, performance you think, Terence, where even when you have Kaleb back, that maybe Chris Holtmann sits there and thinks, well, I see a number of things that he really liked. It could be an opportunity where he got some valuable reps and plays that he might not have otherwise got, and then you can build off that.
It's tough looking at anything positive when you lose by 36, but a good coach always finds something positive to talk about. And obviously, Jaedon coming in and scoring 16 points is going to be probably the most positive thing you have to bring out of this game. You know he's capable of doing something positive.
All right, well, I didn't mean to grasp at too many straws there after a performance like that, but this is, you know, Ohio State is right there in the mix. If they can get a win on the road against Northwestern, that might be all it takes to get them into the NCAA tournament, and then they're guaranteed a couple postseason games, and maybe we'll see Jaedon LeDee at the end of his freshman year playing some meaningful minutes down there. Depends
on Kaleb's suspension, you know. You know, we don't have word yet, but you know, obviously we know we have a good backup here, a serviceable backup at the best.
More guys stepping up right when Ohio State needs it. That's Terence Dials stepping up for us all year long, breaking down Ohio State basketball. I'm Austin Ward. This has been BuckIQ. We'll see you next time at Lettermen Row.